My name's Chhya, and I came in after hurting my jaw a couple months ago. So I'm feeling a lot of jaw pain. And once I came in, I started talking about my headaches and neck pain and other things as well that might be related. So hoping to find some relief there. So number one would be the jaw pain. I have just about here. I've had dentists point out to me when I open my mouth, they say it clicks there. Does that hurt you? And I say, no, it's clicked for 10 plus years when I open that joint, and it's never bothered me. I just thought it was interesting, which was then worrying. Like I went home and I Googled it. I was like, why aren't they telling me? Like, what does that mean? Is that something I should be concerned about? And I didn't really find much info for what I could do at that moment. I didn't bother with it. A couple months ago, I had a nightmare and I jerked my jaw open. And when I did it, I woke up and the clicking was gone in that joint, and I couldn't open my mouth very far, and I was in a lot of pain. Right after it happened, just like very little, and I just couldn't chew, and I had to speak on a panel, and I remember having to ice it beforehand, and like I couldn't open my mouth very wide. But I thought I just strained something, and so I ignored it for a couple months. It wasn't getting better at all. It was getting worse. Still couldn't open my mouth wide. And then I went to my dentist to get my teeth cleaned, and I couldn't even open my mouth for the cleaning, and so they recommended I came here. So the pain is constant, starting here, this lower jaw bit, to the joint especially, and then right here in this temple spot, it feels like somebody has punched me, like it's always throbbing since I hurt myself. And I would say throughout the day, it's like a 5, just baseline. At the end of the day, it becomes a 7 or so. And when I try to chew, or sometimes now if I'm yawning, I have to try and catch the joint so it doesn't open too far. That can be like a 7 or 8 in that moment. It's not sharp pain, but it's tiring. I can feel the effort of moving that part of my face. This side of my face, I don't feel any pain. When I first injured it and I thought I just strained it, I was still trying to eat everything like normal, like crackers and chewing and stuff, and that really hurt. And so now I'm eating soup and cutting up my pizza and oatmeal, just soft things. And I've noticed cold things are bothering that joint as well lately. So trying not to have cold liquids. I've had migraines since I was 16. They used to be so bad that, I would like vomit from pain in school. And so I went to a neurologist and they said there's nothing wrong, and gave me like Excedrin and then preventative pills that didn't really work. So I stopped taking them. And so I've just lived with them since then. I'd say they've gone down in like frequency, but not a lot. And so doctors have told me they're related to stress or to identify my trigger foods, which I have done. Like I know that brie will give me migraines, but I'll also just inexplicably get migraines like when I'm really happy and there's no stress. So it doesn't really seem related to that. I think on average about 5 migraines a month, but sometimes it'll be way more than that. Sometimes I won't have any for a couple months, but they've always been a constant since I was 16. I wake up with a headache more often than not every day of the week. And I would say it's like a throbbing in the front part of my temples, or maybe sometimes like the bottom of my neck, it feels like heavy, like filled with cement, that kind of headache. And I'll wake up with it, and then I'll just take a couple of leave and have my coffee, and it'll dull it. And that happens, I'd say, at least 3 days a week on average. I would say when I wake up with a headache, it's typically around like a 4 or 5, just like a throbbing. It's not as bad as a migraine, but it's like I don't feel ready to take on the day. And it depends what I'm doing that day. If I'm going to work, it gets worse because I'm looking at a computer all day. If I'm spending time at home, then I'll put a heat pad on my neck, or I will try and limit the light, and that'll keep it better, but I would say meds don't really ever like get rid of it right away. It can get up to like an 8. It can get up to feeling like a migraine. When I have a migraine, I can't look at light. I would say that's the real difference from like just a headache, that I feel more nauseous and like really light sensitive, and like my contacts are slipping out of place, like things go blurry. That pain, I would say, feels more like just an 8 or 9 constant. And then when I take Excedrin, you know, that'll bring it down to like a manageable 6, where I can go ahead and do my stuff, but I'm still feeling just like just this heaviness in my head, that it's like a lot of work to keep my head up and to keep the pain at bay. So neck pain, I say, is my 3rd symptom that I'm here for. Neck and shoulder pain, I've always had that, and my dad has always said it's because we have bad backs in our family, and we're lanky people and we don't know how to hold ourselves upright. And he has had back surgery when he was young, so he recommended to me, you know, do back exercises and work on my posture and strengthen my core and things like that, which I do. But it feels like I can't, you know, I do a lot of back exercises and the pain hasn't gone away. So I have a sharp pain on this left side of my neck, going down from like bottom of my skull to this shoulder blade here. And like today I woke up with like that feeling like a 7 or 8, just out the bat. And I don't know why, you know, I had a heat pad on it last night because it was hurting. So I would say most days I wake up with a neck that's aching, and I kind of just thought that's because I have bad posture, and that's because I sit at a desk all day, that, you know, everybody in my family has back problems, so of course that's what's happening. It's just like user error with my own spine. I've had massages and they help at the time, but like just literally in that hour, I don't feel any after effects. Like I said, I use a heat pad on my neck often when I get home from work, and that helps while I'm sitting down, but it doesn't last. Oh, I've also used icy hot, which is like nice if I have to go out, like, you know, if my friends and I are going down an event or something, I'll just like slather icy hot on my back. Yeah, and the back exercises. I've always had bad sleep, and I just thought I was a light sleeper. It takes me a long time to fall asleep, maybe like 40 minutes sometimes, although last night like I couldn't sleep for like 60 minutes or an hour and a half. And then I don't stay asleep, so I wake up often, like 6 or 7 times a night. I can't remember ever sleeping well. Although I can't remember when I was a kid, but I know since high school I've like had this stress, like, oh, I should get to bed very early because I know that I have a big day tomorrow and I know it takes me forever to fall asleep. And so having to plan way more time for that, like I've always been thinking like that. I'd say I typically wake up like a 4, and I would have thought like that's how everyone wakes up, but I see my partner wake up and he's just like up and at 'em. So it's like, oh, that didn't realize people woke up like that. So I wake up like a 4. I hit my peak, you know, around mid-morning. I feel like maybe 7 or 8. I don't know that I ever feel like really like fully recharged. So after lunch or so is when I'm starting to feel like, oh no, like my shoulders are aching, like I probably have a headache from the screen time and I'm really tired. Top symptom I came in with was jaw pain, particularly in that jaw. And I was also just having resting jaw pain, so without even chewing, it was just radiating pain. And that's much better already. I don't have the resting pain. I'm still having the pain when chewing, but that's decreased a little bit. 60%? Yeah, I was coming in with headaches every week, some form of a headache, and then migraines multiple times a month. And since I've had this in, I haven't had a headache at all. So I'd call that 90% improvement, just because I haven't had a chance for migraine, so I'll let you know. Third one was neck pain, which was getting increasingly worse since my injury. I was waking up at like a 7 or 8 out of 10, just like sharp pain in my neck, and just felt limited mobility, like with my neck turning. And that has been the most immediate and shocking change. As soon as we put the orthotic in, I noticed, when I was walking the dogs, that I was not in any pain at all, which is just really rare. I feel like I can hold my neck up straighter, and I'm not feeling that pain at all. I'm waking up in a little pain in the mornings, but throughout the day, drastic change. I'd call that like 90%. Sleep, I typically have a hard time falling asleep. I'd say I'm still having trouble with that. In terms of waking up in the night, I think I'm waking up less because I'm waking up with much more energy. I was in the morning feeling like a 4 out of 10, just like super low energy, maybe peaked mid-morning, but then was really tired. And since I've had the orthotic in, I've been waking up earlier, just feeling naturally more energetic, waking up feeling like I'm ready to get out of bed. So that's a big change. Much more energy in my battery, feels easier to breathe, and so I'm just feeling like I have more steam throughout the day. Not getting tired, not wanting my afternoon nap, things like that. 80%. I even forgot I had acid reflux, to be honest. I haven't had any issues in the last week since we put in the orthotic. No acid reflux symptoms at all. I'm gonna hedge it there too, 90%, it's only a week out. Well, I was expecting, since I've been in this pain for a long time, to have much slower results across these areas. So the neck pain in particular was just shocking, because woke up the next morning, even that afternoon after we put the orthotic in, I was walking the dogs and just, wow, I just don't have any pain at all. So I was expecting that to take more time, to just be a gradual shift.
Still no headaches or migraines. Felt like a normal person again this week. Rarely thought about my jaw.
'Cause it shouldn't hurt to smile when your bite is aligned. You're feeling fine.